I thought our guys, man, they defended really well. They did some stuff out there defensively that I know we're capable of doing night in, night out. Your coverages are going to break down from game to game, and that's when you just got to cover for one another. And I thought our guys did a fantastic job covering for one another. Even a guy like Domas, a couple of times guys were wide open, especially in the first half, on the wing because our rotations got screwed up or whatever, and Domas just saw somebody open on the perimeter and he flew at him and contested a shot, and you live with the results. But we were flying around defensively, and it's great to see, and it's a good team, and they score 107 points on 38%, 39% from the field. That's really good for us. And I keep saying this, if we defend now, will we defend like that, hold everybody to 39%? No. And I'm sure Atlanta feels like they missed some shots, but that's what it takes in today's game. Is some guys got it, some teams have to miss shots at times, but we're not going to hold everybody at 39%. Having said that, we didn't play great offensively. We played really, really good, and if you look at our three guys, Keegan and Domas and Foxy, they were 14 for 22, 38 or something like that, and we still scored 122 points. But when you defend like that, it gives you energy, it gives you juice, and it can help you in a game where you don't have the production, the high volume production from your top three scorers. So heck of a job on the defense end of the floor, and to top that off, I thought JaVale came off the bench and gave us a lift defensively. I thought Trey gave us a lift defensively. I thought Malik was good too defensively. He did a lot of good things on that end of the floor, but Davion was really good. He ended up getting our defensive player of the game, and it was well deserved because his ball pressure throughout the course of the game when he was in really changed the flow of the game for us. It got us out in transition and gave us a boost of confidence that we needed. So he was really, really good, especially defensively. But at the end of the day, having a guy like HB step up for us the way he did, I thought he was really aggressive, and he scored in multiple areas on the floor tonight, and that was a lot of fun to see.
Mike, building off that a little bit with HB, I mean, it's been a season of up and downs with him. It's been a season of up and downs with the team in general. But from your perspective and in your seat there courtside, what did you see and what do you notice is different about HB in these kind of performances versus nights like the other night where he only takes 2 shots and only finishes with 2 points?
I thought the pop was there. He was really aggressive. If he felt like he was open, he stepped in and shot the ball. The guy closed out on him a little too hard, or he thought he could go around him, he went around him, and if he got an angle to the rim, then he was drawing a foul or looking to score it. So seeing him being as aggressive as he was tonight was good because we needed it with the way that our big three shot the ball. So and then on top of that, once he got going like that, we started going to him, and down the stretch, we basically went to him 3 or 4 straight times, or called his number 3 or 4 straight times, and good things happened almost every time he touched the ball. So he had a great game from start to finish on offense into the floor for us.
Coach, going back to the defensive side of the ball, Kevin Durant was asked the other day about the Suns' improvement there and basically said, we just decided we were going to be better. You see the effort tonight. Is that one of those things where at this level, guys can just say, hey, we need to play harder and then go out and do it?
I think our guys have, for the most part, been playing hard during the course of the year. Just over the last week or so, I felt that we started to do things better on that end of the floor, and when things did break down, we're recognizing how to cover for one another. and you know, and the right way to fly around when we cover for one another. But I do, having said all that, for us it's a little different, but I do believe in what Katie said. I think you can throw out, I think you can have almost any defensive scheme you want with your team. If your team communicates very well, they bring a sense of physicality to the game, and they give multiple efforts. No matter how you tell them your rotations are going to happen. If they do those things and they believe in each other and they do it at the highest level, they can be that particular team can be a great defensive team, you know, because a lot of it is that right there.
Malik told us to tell you that it was 3 days off. That's why Harrison had such a big night. Is there something to that?
We did not give him 3 days off because you guys came to practice and saw us practice. So Malik is wrong. But now the NBA gave us 3 days in between games. If he was talking about that, he needs to call them or tell you guys to send that message to them. But you know, yeah, you know, maybe that you'd have to ask HB, but maybe not playing a game for 3 days maybe helped him get his legs or body. I don't know. I haven't talked to him, but it for sure was not 3 days off. Malik Monk.
Coach, just seeing the way you guys closed out. There was a lot of focus on past few games where you haven't been able to have that moment to close out. Is this a big step forward for that?
Yeah, it's huge. You know, because like I said, those losses were tough. They hurt, but it also made us reflect on what we're doing, starting with me. And so I had to watch the game and break it down and give these guys answers as to what should happen on both ends of the floor. And tonight was probably the first time that there was a comfort level in a while where there was a comfort level. And all of us, starting with me, knowing what we're going to do offensively with the basketball, and then how we're going to defend defensively. So those losses hurt. They still hurt. But at the end of the day, during the season, in my opinion, you have to go through that because you have to look in the mirror to see if you're doing what you need to do. Each person, again, start with me, each person doing what they need to do to go win a ball game, especially if it's tight down the stretch.
You mentioned getting better at covering for each other defensively. Where do you kind of see that? Is that knowing each other and strengths and weaknesses? Is it communicating X's, outs? Like, where do you kind of see that?
No, it's just like if somebody gets hit with a screen, and if they get hit with the screen, so you're not getting through every screen. Sometimes you may get stuck, sometimes you may fall, sometimes you may make the wrong rotation when you go to double team, therefore leaving somebody open. And if somebody's open, then if I'm the nearest guy, it may not be my rotation, but I gotta go. I gotta fly at this open shooter here, and I gotta know that, okay, I'm gonna go contest this shot here, somebody's gonna have my back. And we're gonna keep giving them multiple efforts and keep communicating until we come up with the ball and or finish the play with a rebound.
My quick follow-up to the Harrison question from earlier, you mentioned the aggressiveness that he started this game with. I know there's only so many shots to go around, and you've talked before, he has to kind of fill a role with that starting unit with other guys getting their touches. Is it difficult to ask for Harrison to be that aggressive as he was tonight and consistently throughout games when he doesn't know when those touches are going to come or those opportunities are going to come? Is that hard to ask a player?
Yeah, it is, because if you think about most of HB's career, he spent a lot of time getting the ball like he did down the stretch. Get him into the post or get him at the nail. So it was a lot of play calls that he had for him. And, we have a lot of guys on this team that can score, especially score on the flow. And we want to play fast. So I can't manipulate it from the sidelines, because if I start, 5 up, this and that, then it's going to slow us down. And that's not how we want to play. And so he, as well as everybody else, is going to have to find their shot in the flow of the game. The tough part about it is he very seldom brings it. sometimes it may not get to him because as soon as we're open, we wanna let that thing fly. And, so he may not, the ball may not always get to him, so, and then, you know, you got Fox, you got Thomas, you got Malik, Keegan taking high volume, and then you have, Kevin, and Malik probably next, and so it's a little tough for HB, but, you know, he's definitely a guy that, you could throw the ball to when you need a basket, because you know he's gonna get a good look, and or he's gonna get to the free throw line, so he's gotta keep doing what he's doing to be aggressive and finding his spots like he did tonight to start the game, and then he's just gotta be ready, which he is going to be ready if his number's called like it was down the stretch tonight.
Mike, De'Aaron started the season so well, and, you know, recently there's been a little bit of a dip in his production, and then there was a little bit of, you know, like a 2-week period where he really didn't speak publicly. What's your read on kind of what he's going through, whether it's physically or mentally? Just, are you seeing him behind the scenes like as steady and doing the things he's always done, or you know, how are you viewing him in that situation right now?
Yeah, he's still getting his extra work in. He's been great in practice. He's been fine. You know, he started the season at such an elite level, and I think he can get to a point where he can be pretty close to that throughout most of the year. But he's still a really young player, and he's going to go through his quote unquote ups and his downs. And right now it's the dog days of the season, and you know, not everybody is going to. Kevin went through it, you know, so not everybody's going to play at the level that they think they should, or everyone else thinks that they should. So as long as he's, you know, staying with it, which he is, and continuing to put his work in, he's our guy. He's done it for us over and over and over again. He'll find his way back to where he was at close to the beginning of the year.
Chris?
Did it?
That's Mike? Okay, thanks.
Oh, thanks.